The biggest secret to Japan's smart designs isn't genius at all. It's boring. It's plain. In fact, their best ideas are so simple you'll feel dumb for not seeing them first. We're taught that great ideas need big brains and wild thoughts. But Japan shows us a different way, a path to huge change, built on ideas you could have thought of. The real puzzle isn't how they make them, but why we miss them. It's a feeling we've all had. You see something so smart and simple, and your first thought isn't, wow, it's, wait, why didn't I think of that? Before we continue, hit subscribe so you never miss the latest updates. Japanese design is full of these moments. These ideas are everywhere now, so much a part of our daily lives that we forget they had to be invented in the first place. Think about manga. Today, everyone understands its visual language, the speed lines, the big eyes, the way it shows emotion. But it was a totally new way to tell a story on a page. Or think about mascots. In Japan, almost every town, train station, and company has its own cute character. It seems obvious now. Give your brand a friendly face. But they turned it into an art form that spread across the world. These things don't feel like rocket science. They feel like common sense. But if they're so simple, why does it seem like they keep coming from one place? It's not about being smarter or more creative. It's about a different way of looking at the world. A set of unwritten rules for solving problems that focuses on simplicity, care, and thinking about the end user. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on those rules. We'll break down the mindset behind Japan's most obvious innovations. And you'll see that the secret to genius isn't a flash of brilliance. It's a way of thinking you can learn too. So let's start with a place that seems anything but simple. A Japanese Zen garden. At first glance, it's just rocks and raked gravel. There are no colorful flowers, no big trees. You might wonder, what's the big deal? But it's not meant to look like a real garden. It's designed to feel like nature. The rocks become islands. The gravel becomes the ocean waves. It's the essence of a huge landscape, boiled down to its most basic elements. The goal isn't to be pretty. It's to be a tool for meditation. It's a simple, quiet space that helps you find your own calm. The simplicity is the whole point. But this thinking isn't just for ancient temples. You see it everywhere, hidden in plain sight. Take a look at a poster from the government or a brochure from a local clinic. You'll probably see soft pastel colors, simple two-dimensional drawings, rounded shapes. This isn't just a design trend. It's a deliberate choice to create a feeling the Japanese call anshin. It means a sense of security, relief, and peace of mind. The friendly, gentle design is meant to make official information feel less scary and more trustworthy, especially for older people. The simplicity here isn't about looking cool. It's about making people feel safe. But here's the twist. It doesn't always mean less is more. One designer shared a story about making a clean, minimalist presentation for his Japanese boss. The boss wasn't happy. He wanted a slide that was jam-packed with information. Why? Because for him, simplicity meant having every single detail in one place. No questions left unanswered. No room for doubt. It was a different path to that same feeling of anshin. So whether it's an empty garden or a full page, the real secret isn't about how it looks. It's about understanding a human need for calm, for security, and then finding the most direct way to solve it. That core idea, finding the most direct path, is where things get really interesting. Because a lot of the time, the most direct path isn't about adding more. It's about taking things away. There's a Japanese word for this kind of powerful simplicity, Kanketsu. It's not just about being neat or minimal. It's about reaching the core of an idea by subtracting everything that isn't essential. Think of it like this. You're trying to solve a puzzle, and it's surrounded by noise and distractions. Kanketsu is the process of getting rid of all that noise. Once it's gone, the answer isn't just clear. It feels obvious. It feels like it was right there the entire time, just waiting to be seen. This is the secret behind that "why didn't I think of that" feeling. The genius wasn't in inventing some wild, complex new thing. The genius was in the courage to remove what everyone else thought was necessary. Let's go back to that Zen garden again, but look at it through this lens. The creators didn't ask, what can we add to make this feel like nature? They asked, what can we remove to find the essence of nature? So they subtracted the bright colors of flowers. They subtracted the sound of running water. They subtracted everything that directly copies a real-world forest or coastline. And by taking all of that away, they revealed something much more powerful: the pure feeling of a vast, quiet landscape. The rocks and gravel weren't just what they added. They were what was left over after everything else was stripped away. This mindset is a powerful tool for innovation. Instead of building a product and asking, what features can we tack on? The Kanketsu approach asks, what is the one thing this product absolutely must do? And how do we remove every single obstacle that gets in the way of that? The final result looks simple, effortless even. But that simplicity comes from a tough process of subtraction, of clearing the path until only the most obvious, elegant answer remains. But that elegant answer doesn't just appear out of thin air. It comes from a deep, almost obsessive focus on process. And honestly, a lot of this work can seem kind of boring from the outside. There's a cultural idea in Japan called monozukuri, which basically means the art of making things. It's not just about the final product. It's about taking incredible pride in every single step of the process, being precise, reliable, and getting the details perfect. It's a mindset of total focus, of doing things with purpose, not just mindlessly going through the motions. Let me give you a perfect example. A Western designer working for a huge mobile company in Japan put together a presentation. It was sleek, minimalist, and clean, the kind of thing we'd probably praise. But his manager rejected it. The reason? It didn't have enough information. The manager then showed him what was expected: a sample slide so jam-packed with text, charts, and data that it would take way longer to read than the 5 minutes he had to present it. Now, this isn't just about bad design. It's about a fundamental difference in culture. In that office, a presentation slide wasn't just a visual aid. It was treated as the single source of truth. All that dense information wasn't clutter. It was proof. Proof that you had done your homework, considered every angle, and left no stone unturned. It gives people a powerful sense of security and trust, a feeling the Japanese call anshin, or peace of mind. The details show you're reliable. And this obsession with getting things right, down to the smallest detail, is the real engine for improvement. When you understand a process that deeply, you start to see the tiny flaws no one else notices. You find the small, obvious efficiencies that, when added up, lead to a massive leap in quality. It's not always glamorous, but this patient, careful work is what builds the foundation for those "why didn't I think of that?" moments. So where do those brilliant, simple ideas actually come from? A lot of the time, the answer isn't found in a lab or a focus group. It's found just by looking outside. There's a Japanese concept called Shizen. On the surface, it just means nature. But it goes a lot deeper than that. It's a worldview that sees nature as the ultimate problem solver. The logic is simple. Nature has been running tests for millions of years. It doesn't waste energy, it doesn't add extra parts, and it finds the most efficient way to get things done. So instead of trying to force a brand new solution, this way of thinking asks a different question. Has nature already solved this? And very often, the answer is yes. Take Japan's famous bullet trains, the Shinkansen. When they were first developed, they had a huge problem. Every time a train blasted out of a tunnel at high speed, it created a massive sonic boom that would rattle windows for a quarter-mile around. Engineers tried everything, but they couldn't fix it. The breakthrough came from an engineer who was also a bird watcher. He thought about the kingfisher, a bird that can dive from the air into water, two very different environments, with almost no splash. He realized the train exiting a tunnel was facing the exact same physics problem. So they redesigned the front of the train to mimic the long, streamlined shape of the kingfisher's beak. The result? The sonic boom disappeared. But that's not all. The new design was also 15% more air efficient, letting the train go even faster while using less electricity. It's a perfect example of Shizen. The obvious answer was right there, flying around all along. It wasn't about adding more technology. It was about observing the simple, elegant logic that nature had already perfected. This brings up a really interesting question. Why are we so obsessed with finding that one-in-a-million disruptive idea? That flash of genius that changes everything? In the West, we celebrate the rebel, the person who moves fast and breaks things. We're constantly hunting for the next big thing that will make everything that came before it obsolete. But this constant search for something brand new can actually blind us. It can make us miss the simple, obvious improvements right in front of our faces. According to one designer who spent over a decade in Japan, this mindset is the exact opposite of how things often work there. Big, radical changes are tough to push through because the culture is built on getting everyone on the same page first. It's a slow, careful process that favors reliability over risky bets. And the reason for this comes down to a single, powerful feeling: peace of mind. Or, in Japanese, anshin. For many, a product or service that's too new or too minimal can actually feel suspicious, like it's hiding something. Familiar layouts and lots of clear information feel safe and trustworthy. It's not about being old-fashioned. It's about building a sense of security. It's about knowing that something will just work every single time. You can see this philosophy beautifully in the art of Kintsugi. That's the traditional method of repairing broken pottery by mending the cracks with gold. The goal isn't to hide the break. It's the opposite. You highlight the flaw, making the piece even stronger and more beautiful than it was before it was broken. It's a perfect metaphor. It's about honoring what already exists and finding value in improving it, not just replacing it. It suggests there's a different kind of genius, one that doesn't shout, but quietly perfects, one that finds brilliance not in breaking things, but in making them whole again. So this all comes down to a fundamental shift in what innovation even means. It stops being about that one lightning strike idea and starts being about a deep, patient commitment to getting things right. This is the very soul of monozukuri, the art of making things. It's a philosophy that puts precision, care, and total reliability above everything else. The goal isn't just to make something new. It's to make something that people can deeply trust. This desire for trust shows up in surprising ways. One writer who moved to Japan told a story about a presentation he prepared. He made a clean, minimalist slideshow, the kind we'd see as professional. But it was rejected. Why? It didn't have enough information. His team showed him a sample slide that was so packed with text and charts, it would take longer to read than to present. To a Western eye, it looked cluttered. That's it for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more updates you won't want to miss.